Good day everyone, my name is Marcus, and if you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're not, thank you so much for supporting us all this while. Just remember that every like and subscription you give us goes a long way in supporting our production. Now, before we dive into today's video, have a look at these disclaimers before we proceed. Okay, so in today's video we'll be touching on somewhat of an esoteric concept. Basically the rise of a Latin American firm that has many roots similar to Alibaba of China. Now, we understand that many investors nowadays all want to own the next big disruptive company, be it Amazon or Google in America or Alibaba and Tencent in China. But the problem with many of these investors is that their mentality is that they will only safely buy in or throw all their money into the company once their leading position has been 100% established. But the thing that people don't get is that it is already too late. Once a company has already been identified as the market leader, more and more people will start putting their money in, and it will have been better if you identified this company from the get-go rather than trying to chase after newer highs. And I'm not trying to say that me and Jimmy have never made these mistakes before. In fact, most of the time we are also one of those investors. Because truth be told, for retail investors like us, it is very hard to spot the next big company using the very simple technical tools that we have on a normal public computer or laptop. And so, today's video is here to introduce to one big company in Latin America that we believe is going to make a mark like no other in that particular region. Ticker symbol MELI or Mercado Libre. We won't wait until this company explodes to start a position, and that's because we believe that this company represents Alibaba in the early stages. Just to give you a brief breakdown of its history, it was founded in 1999 in Argentina, just like Ant Financial of Alibaba. MELI also has a separate fintech arm called Mercado Pago. And the reason why it has hopped onto our radar is because it has been exploding of late, posting record total payment volume and transactions. And this rise is partly thanks to the accelerated transition to a cashless economy in many of the South American countries as they struggle to pick themselves up after corrupted election results. As of Q2 of 2020, Mercado Pago has generated 65% of total revenue. Throughout this video, I'll also be touching on many of the main reasons why I believe this stock is such a good and undervalued buy. The first and most important reason was because it has kickstarted online purchases for consumers in Latin America. And for those of you who are familiar with economics, you guys know how important the first mover advantage is in any market. And another reason is because it is focused on creating a digital ecosystem around its e-commerce marketplace. There's Mercado Libre, which is the main e-commerce marketplace, Mercado Pago, which is the fintech arm that facilitates payment solutions, mobile point of sales, mobile wallet, as well as third-party merchant services. There's Mercado Envíos, which facilitates the logistics for the aforementioned two services. And lastly, to top it all off, there's Mercado Fondo, which is the asset management arm with 500 million assets under management and roughly 11.4 million users. This whole ecosystem facilitates a holistic consumption of payment systems, website builders, as well as allowing a large breadth of consumers to tap into the mobile point of sales payment. Another thing worth noting about the company's financials is that the long-term runway for growth is enormous. Pre-COVID-19, e-commerce retail sales in Latin America trailed the US by almost 3 times. However, Latin America expects to grow much more after COVID. Essentially, the whole COVID-19 has put e-commerce on steroids in Latin America, and it has shortened the market penetration from years to months. As the CFO of Mercado Libre mentioned at the Q2 earnings report, the pandemic generated significant changes in consumer behavior, which translated into a new milestone in the penetration of e-commerce and online payments in the region. Another independent study also confirms that the trend grew almost 4 times in a matter of 4 weeks right after the big market dip of March 16, 2020. With a host of e-commerce firms reporting similar Q2 results around the world, more consumers in South America are flocking to web and getting comfortable with doing digital shopping and as well as digital payment. As a result, this upward trend has much more potential to continue. With regards to Mercado Pago, which is its payment arm, the surge in online consumption has a direct relation. Total payments on and off platform grew by almost triple digits, and the reason is due to increased adoption of online financial services as well as greater access to them. Post-COVID-19, We would expect that this trend likely continues as almost 7 out of 10 people in Latin America surveyed in an independent study stated that they would choose to continue with all these online payment methods. So, now that we have established that the long-term macro and industry tailwinds are compelling, let's now look at Melly's financials and operational status from the Q2 2020 results. If we look at the operational side of things, total payment value was 11.2 billion, up 142% year-on-year, which comprises of total payment on platform of 5.2 billion and total payment off platform of 6.1 billion. And on the financial side of things, we have net revenues of $878.4 million, up 123.4% year-on-year, whereas gross margin was up 48.6%, down 1.4% year-on-year from 50%. As seen above, COVID-19 has totally put the whole growth of this company on steroids. And the triple-digit growth year-on-year is just something that you have not seen ever since Ant Financial IPO'd in the China market. But no evaluation is balanced without touching on the negative sides. These achievements didn't come without incurring significant costs. By offering more support services and free shipping, especially for these payment solutions, margins in the company have suffered. However, it is very encouraging to see that net margin decline reversed to positive territory in Q2 of 2020, posting an 11% operating margin. And in hindsight, this trade-off is worth it as revenue quadrupled and the past 5-year growth averages 35%. As a result, the company's total market valuation has expanded by almost 8 times. And this development also confirms that at this particular stage of growth in this infant company, the market cares more about long-term growth potential rather than worrying about something as trivial as margin expansion. As I said earlier and repeated many times in this video, this pattern is remarkably similar to Alibaba, who also experienced the same trends of margin compression as the company focused on growth for the long term. If we look at the current market cap of Alibaba today, it is at a monstrous 800 billion with 74 billion in annual sales and it is still growing at 28%, so it has definitely outperformed most indexes. So in the short term, we can conclude that Melly is not exactly Amazon, but is definitely shaping up to be the Alibaba of Latin America. In the near short term, margins will remain compressed and volatile. However, Melly has a long runway of growth until it reaches Alibaba's 28% growth rate, and thus we expect margins to expand and market valuations to follow in Alibaba's footsteps. And another thing is, if we look at the overall macroeconomy, investment in Mercado Libre definitely comes with real risk in an unstable economy, especially when we see all the corruption issues that are surrounding the region. Additionally, foreign exchange risk is also common when investing in Latin American companies. Financial results can show a very different picture depending on which currency the earnings are reported in. All in all, to conclude, Melly has been a stable performer pre-COVID-19. However, within a few months, Q1 and Q2 results have definitely caught the market by surprise. Operational and financial metrics have exploded at triple digits, and as consumption and payment behaviors during this COVID period are likely to stick around for the next few years, Melly's growth potential is definitely there. Nonetheless, we have to admit that the currency volatility and economic instability in this region can pose significant uncertainties for Melly's businesses. Coupled with the stock at an all-time high, we won't be rushing into building a large position in this stock, but we will definitely consider taking a small position. We hope this video has given you some insight into one of the most popular e-commerce South American stocks. And if Melly is already in your portfolio, let us know in the comments down below. If you do, will you add to your position at the current market cap, or do you think it will be able to keep Amazon or Alibaba of Latin America? I've attached some links to the channels below which I took reference from, and I'll be flattered if you had one key takeaway from this video which you can share with your other friends. Leave any questions you have in the comments below and I'll try to answer all of them thoroughly. Stay tuned for the next video and invest safe.
Ever since the day that you